you deal with situations where others are using or even offering them to you? So it's kind of a maybe an either or. You may have
Mhm.
endured both of those. So how do you navigate around that idea that this person's using, maybe trying to get me to use?
Honestly, I feel like I've come to a point where like I know that I don't want to do that. I am very like headstrong and that I don't want to do that. I don't want to be involved in that, whether it be like marijuana, nicotine, or even like alcohol or anything like that. Because I've been around like alcohol addictions more than anything, and it's just not something that I want to do. So like I've been invited to like hang out with those kinds of people and like be involved in those kinds of situations. And honestly, I think what I just end up doing is I just respectfully decline every single time. I'm like, hey, like I'm just not wanting to do that. I'm not wanting to put myself in that situation. And I feel as though all the times that I've respectfully like declined everybody that I talked to that like invited me to do those things, they're very respectful about my decision that I've made. So honestly, once I decline, they're like, oh, okay, like, just let us know if you do want to, whatever. We'll see you around. So like I don't know. I feel like I've kind of just come to the point where I just say no and move on.
At the highest point of like my substances, I vaped occasionally and I did weed every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it was with the same group of people. And when I stopped, I was still friends with quite a few of them. And the ones that I'm still friends with today, I was like, hey, I stopped. And then they stopped offering me it. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were very respectful about like, well, they were like, do you want to hit? I'm like, no, no, thank you. And they're like, oh, yeah, of course. And it's very much like once you're forming your decision to I'm not going to do this, people either stop offering you altogether or they just assume you're not going to do it. So they don't
Mm-hmm.
even want to offer. And if they do offer, they just say no and you're good.
Whenever you said like hey, I've quit, like I'm not interested in doing that again. A lot of people honestly they like respect that you were able to quit because some
Yes,
people
a lot of them
can't.
were like, "Oh my gosh, that's great for you.
Yeah,
Congratulations."
exactly.
Like I got congratulated for quitting that
Yeah,
stuff from people who do it
and
actively.
good for it. Yeah, I feel like that just happens a lot is that they're like, oh, I wish I could, like I'm
Mhm.
really happy that you were able to do that because I can't. I feel like a lot of people also get that mindset where once they start they can't stop, like whether they want to or not, they just make that like decision in their head that they can't.
There's an interesting statistic that they were polling specifically in respect to nicotine users by way of vaping. And this was for people under the age of 25, so I think like 12 to 25.
Mhm.
And the poll showed that upward of 50% of people who are using vapes, I said, hey, if you could quit, would you want to quit?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like half of users said, yeah, I would rather not be trapped
Mhm.
in this habit, not have this addiction. And I think that goes back to what we were discussing earlier is not only is it not as popular as some people would think, is the people that are involved in at least things like nicotine, half of them wish they weren't in the
Mhm.
middle of that. So, like, don't go down that road.
Yeah.
Half of them wish they weren't there
Yeah,
to start
exactly.
with.
There was someone I was like friends with and like she just started college not that long ago and she like went down the road a little bit because she was like I wanted to do the college experience and I'm like you can have the college experience but not do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very proud of her because she is like she said like multiple times that she was going to quit, but this time like she said she's done and like I can tell that she's done. And like I always check up on her and I'm like you're not doing anything right and she's like yeah. And because she was like star player for everything, like, and it was just college hit, and she was kind of like, "Oh, I want to dabble," and I'm like, "Don't do that, don't do that." And then they did realize that, like, oh, hey, this is wrong, and so now they're taking a step back, and then they've always asked me like, "Hey, like, why are you still friends with me?" Because I did have a part of my life where I did cut ties with everyone that did do substance stuff because it was just like I would try to put all of myself into them trying to help them and then realize that like I could if they didn't want the help they wouldn't take it. And so then I backed out. But then I've always stuck with her cuz I know like she wants to change, but it's just she went down a wrong path for a little bit.
Are there people who have influenced you notably to be substance free? Like, who's helped you kind of along that path to say, that's the life that I want? Who's given you that vision?